Okay guys, how are you all? Stephen Kirkwood here. I'm lucky enough to review the brand new mixer from Pioneer, the DJM 750 Mark II. And it's got a crate. We were lucky enough to have this dropped into the studio here in Scotland by the great guys at Pioneer DJ. They came up just a couple of weeks ago, so I've not had much play on this yet, which probably makes for a good review. So I'm going to have a look at all the features, see how it compares to the previous mixer we had in here, which was the DJM 900, I believe. So there's a vast upgrade already for sure. So I'll start here, up at the corner, and I'll work my way around. Now I can see that there's a USB port at the back here, which somewhere at the back, which I don't think the previous mixer we had in here, the 900, had. I'd imagine that's for hooking your laptop in. Heading down the way, we've got a mic, which I believe is an XLR into the back. And the good thing about this is it's got EQ on the actual mic. You know, most of you will know that when you're talking into a microphone, especially if you've got a low voice, that low end really can get in the way if you're using a microphone. So it's great to be able to knock that low end off of there. Great feature. So heading down, this looks pretty familiar, and actually they've simplified this mic area, which is really great. Before there was quite a lot of stuff going on, but this is really simple, stripped back, and the build quality of each knob as well, might I add, that sounds great, feels great rather. So moving down, we've got of course off, on and talk over, your standard mic mixer sort of settings there, and down we've got your sound colour effects. Now these are familiar to any Pioneer DJ user. You've got noise, filter, sweep and dub echo. They're the ones that you need. If anything, I'm missing the one that makes a Redux type sound. It's a Crush, it was called actually. I quite like that, so that's not there actually. So if it was, for me personally, I quite like the Crush effect, but it's not there. So that's one thing. They've got 4 though, and while you're using these, I'm really blown away by just how smooth they sound. It actually sounds more like the Allen and Heath filter, which was very hard to do. And I felt sometimes with Pioneer filters, you'd stick something on, and then once you put the filter on, it would actually boost the volume as well. So we don't really have that now. It's very smooth, and I'm keen on it. Also, the addition of the parameter. Now, you've seen that in most new Pioneer mixers now, which is like a dry and wet signal. So min is dry, max is wet. And, you know, for instance, put the filter on there with the parameter down at min. You pull this up and it's actually adding like nice resonance, nice warmth to it. And you can, of course, control how much resonance you want to use. Hear that? Great. Again, these sound just very smooth. I'm feeling it. Headphones, usual stereo mono split, if you're using that. Now moving on to this section here. Before, on the mixers that I've used previously, unless you had the master turned right up, you weren't really able to really do much Q mixing with this knob here. Reason being is it's taking the signal from the master, and if you're just mixing down here, -15, -9 or whatever, you would struggle to hear that. Now they've corrected this, which I'm very happy to say, and you don't need the master turned up in order to get the most out of this knob here. So for me, I personally mix with 1Q on and the master on, and then I can blend it in here, which for me is perfect, because no longer do I need to have the master at a certain level before I can hear this. So excellent work there. And again, these knobs just feel great, which is good. So we've covered down to the mic, we're heading down to the headphones, and of course we head up here. These are all pretty self-explanatory, not much has changed, to be honest. The trims, again, everything feels a bit better in terms of build quality. They've done away with the kind of softer rubber, and we were constantly replacing these knobs before on our mixer because they're just wear and tear. You'd end up with bits of holes in the plastic and stuff like that if you're using your mixer quite often. But they've really upped the game on just the quality of material they're using, I believe. So what else do we have here? Self-explanatory. Obviously you've got your headphone port. You no longer need a headphone adapter, which, to be honest, can get quite annoying when you need to always take a headphone adapter with you. But they've got that function where you can just plug in the smaller jack, which is great. That's what I'm doing today. What else do we have then? So we've got our normal channels. Everything is great on these. Everything is nice, set at 12 o'clock, should never go past 12 o'clock. And everything feels absolutely great. What else do we have then? So we're moving around the mixer. Crossfader, all the usual. You've got your normal fade, you've got your harsh fade if you're doing a bit of scratching, far on the left there, it's great. EQ curves as well, and of course your booth monitor. What this mixer feels to me is basically just taking the best of all the mixers before, cutting out all the stuff that they've maybe tried, and really simplifying it, which is cool. I'm really enjoying it. It's like the basic mixer that you need to do what you need to do, to be honest. So up here you've got your master level, of course. And there's actually a new little button in there that says clip, which is quite ideal, because a lot of the time, sometimes these mixers do get redlined in clubs by DJs that shouldn't be redlining them. And this kind of clever little button says clip there, so I'd imagine that will pop on red when a DJ is getting too close to ramming that system. So we've looked at that. Now, another thing here which I was wanting to touch on is I've come out with a standard Apple lead, and it's plugging into my phone here. And on it is the new DJM Pioneer app, which is a very, very interesting idea and concept. I remember when I first started DJing, I had to have a CD recorder, which required a blank master CD to go in. You'd have to route all the cables through, hit play on the CD, and then make sure that you don't mess a mix up, because that would be that CD absolutely ruined. So this has just simplified it right down, and you know, with technology these days, it was obviously coming, but I'm glad to say that it is here now, which makes for recording your mixes just super easy. So it's the Pioneer DJM record app, I believe, and it just comes straight out of that and straight in, and you're literally coming up on the screen. There we go, successfully connected to the mixer, and you hit record and away you go. So we've got that set up as well, which is a great little function. What else do we have up here? So effects, let's move to effects. So let me just I'll stick this track on here. Now, one of the main things straight away that I've noticed is they've split the effects into frequency bands, which is amazing. Everyone would probably have tried to put an echo on at some point, and it catches all of that low end energy as well, which can really cause some issues with your low end, especially if you forget that it's on, or you leave it over one beat and you've got that big bassy kick drum doubling. They've absolutely eradicated that problem by sticking it into frequency bands here. So you've got low, mid, and high here. So for me, most of the time when I'm putting effects on, I'll just select the mid and high, because I'm wanting the kick to still rumble on, still give you that in the club feeling where you can apply effects to the mid and the high, which I find really, really cool and interesting. So for instance, I'll stick the track on, and it's got a fade. So what's happening there is it's just affecting the mid and the high, which is great, because the low end is still, you're still getting that movement, which is absolutely class. So huge shout for that there. That's a game changer certainly for transitions and effects and stuff. So feeling that. Now let's move to the effects themselves. I'll stick the wee track just back on in the background here. See what we've got. So delay, standard. Great. Echo, they couldn't ever get rid of the delay or the echo, I'm sure of it. They've kept the ping pong on there, which if you're into music production, it's kind of like the ping pong on Ableton, which I use when I'm making music as well quite a bit. So it's kind of like a mixture between spiral and echo. It does what it says on the tin, to be honest, ping pong. It's pinging it about from speaker to speaker, from side to side, which is great for transition mixing as well. Okay, so we're going to take what I was just talking about, all the new features and effects, and I'll stick it into a mix a couple of tracks together, and we'll see what happens. So with the new effects and the effects I was using there, ping pong, spiral, dub echo, filters, and of course tweaking the basses, you can really start blending your tracks when you're mixing them, and it suits my style of mixing to a T, to be honest. Thing for transitions that they've got here is, of course, the reverb. And of course, you've got 25, 50 and 75%. I mean, you can fire that 100% reverb on there. You can only imagine the possibilities with that sort of reverb going on as well for your mixes and your transitions. It's great. So I'll skip on, turn that off there, and we'll see what else I've got effects-wise, try and cram this in. Transpose, of course, is great. You know, if you're wanting to cut up 16ths, 18ths as well, it's great. I remember Eddie Halliwell used to be a master of that. You know, the scratching with the transpose on, great effect. We've got flanger, of course, pitch, roll, vinyl break. I think is something new, which is cool. So I'll flick a track on and let you hear what this does. And what's happening there is it's actually vinyl breaking the mid and the high, because that's all I've got selected. That'll take the whole lot of it away. While the track still plays, mind you, as well, which is pretty cool. Again, end of the set, if you want to just call it off, that vinyl break is very, very cool. Sometimes find myself just doing that with the decks as well, but now it's already built into this, so it's pretty cool. What else do we have? So one of the main features, of course, is the frequency effect breakdown. Loving that. The integration with the Pioneer DJ app, we've got that there. We've got the level of effect as well over here. Heading down, it's very simple, to be honest. You know, it doesn't take long for you to get used to the mixer. If there was a mixer that was up my street as a DJ to fit my style, you know, it's between this right now and of course the Zone 92, both of which are head on head now. The sound coming out of this one now is just class. So I hope you've enjoyed the review. I've been Stephen Kirkwood here at SKapade Studios, reviewing the new Pioneer DJM 750 Mark II. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all soon. And it's got a fade.